In every kingdom history remembers, there are tales of alliances forged through fear, treaties sealed with broken promises, and marriages used like weapons. But this story is different. It begins with a girl of sunlight, the last princess of a dying realm, and a man carved from shadows, a man the world feared, yet never truly knew. This is the story of the Shadow-Bound Treaty, the last political gamble of a kingdom on the edge of collapse. Our tale begins in the kingdom of Elara, famous once for its warmth, its fertile land, and its radiant queen line, women born with the sun blessing. But war, famine, and betrayal have brought the kingdom to its knees. Only one heir remains, Princess Lysandra, the last light of her world, and she carries within her a courage that burns brighter than the sun itself. To save her people, Solara's council proposes the unthinkable, a political marriage to the enemy, not just any enemy, but to Tao Varyn, the Rune Lord of the Shadow Court, a man known for brutality so legendary it is whispered to children as warning tales. A general whose command leaves battlefields silent, a monster wrapped in runes and shadows. But Lysandra knows what must be done. She accepts the treaty. But secretly, her acceptance hides a darker purpose. If she can enter the Shadow Court as his wife, then she can end the war by assassinating the monster himself. One death for thousands of lives. It is a choice she carries like a blade inside her heart. Her journey to the Shadowlands is a descent into another world, where light bends, the sky shifts colors like spilled ink, and whispers curl between the trees. And waiting for her at the gates of the obsidian fortress stands Tao Varyn, tall, unreadable, silver-eyed, wearing the runes that paint him as death incarnate. But something is wrong. His eyes aren't filled with cruelty. They're filled with exhaustion and restraint.
Their first exchange is cold, formal, sharp. She bows as required, though sunlight drips from her hair, illuminating the dark like a defiant torch. Tao studies her, not with hunger, not with disdain, but with calculation and something she cannot name. He does not touch her. He does not command her. He only says one thing. Do not fear the shadows. Fear the ones who wield them. Life in the Shadow Court is tense. Everyone watches her, some with hatred, some with curiosity. Tao Varyn is distant, appearing at meals, meetings, and ceremonies only when absolutely necessary. But something about him feels out of place. A brutal man does not hesitate. A brutal man does not hide. A brutal man does not flinch whenever she draws near. One night, while wandering the lower halls, Lysandra discovers something impossible. Children, human children, non-magical, living deep inside the fortress, hidden, protected. And not by the Shadow King, but by Tao Varyn, the monster, the butcher, the man she was supposed to kill. She watches quietly as Tao kneels beside a little girl, binding her scraped knee with gentle hands. His rune markings dim, like a soft pulse, as if they sense the innocence around him. This is not the general she was told about, not the tyrant, not the killer. This man is hiding something, or someone. When Tao notices her watching, he stiffens. But instead of threatening her, he simply says, if the Shadow King knew these people existed, they would be dead by dawn. She realizes the truth. Tao's brutality is a mask, a facade, a calculated performance, one he wears to keep his own tyrannical ruler from discovering the hidden, powerless population he has sworn to protect.
The more Lysandra observes, the more she sees cracks in Tao's armor. He trains soldiers,
but never harms them. He gives orders, but never raises his voice. He maintains distance, but not out of cruelty, out of fear that someone might connect him to the secret he is shielding. As custom requires, Tao and Lysandra share living quarters. Forced proximity turns tension into something electric. She notices the way he avoids sunlight because it weakens him. He notices how her presence warms rooms without her intention. Opposites, clashing, colliding, coexisting. One evening, a storm of shadow creatures attacks the fortress walls. Lysandra rushes toward the sounds of battle. Tao intercepts her, his hands glowing with dark runes, and for the first time, he allows his mask to slip. "Stay behind me," he growls, voice trembling, not with anger, but with fear of losing her. She disobeys. Together, they fight, light and shadow dancing like twin forces locked in cosmic balance. When the battle ends, their powers collide, sending shock waves through the courtyard. Tao grabs her shoulders, breathless. She's never seen him shaken before. "Why would you risk yourself?" he demands. She answers simply, "Because your people are my people now." Trust forms slowly, fragile at first. She asks him what made him so feared. He reveals the truth. The Shadow King forced runes onto him as a child, designed to instill terror and obedience. Every act of brutality attributed to him was staged by the king. Illusions, corpses placed, lies spun. His entire reputation was sculpted to scare the world, a weapon made of fear. And Lysandra, she cries for him, not out of pity, but of recognition. She sees a man who never wanted violence, who never asked for power, who never stopped protecting those weaker than him, even when the world called him a monster. Tao begins to trust her. He allows himself to laugh in her presence, to speak freely, to remove his gloves so she can see the runes etched into his skin like chains. She touches them, and the markings flicker faintly, reacting to her warmth. Light and shadow meeting without burning. Lysandra remembers her original mission, to kill Tao Varyn. But now she knows the real monster is the Shadow King, and Tao is the only shield standing between hundreds of innocents and annihilation. She can't kill him. She won't. Instead, she approaches Tao with a proposition. She says softly, "Let me help you. Let's overthrow him. Together." Tao hesitates, fearing that letting himself hope will destroy him, but Lysandra's light breaks through his shadows, and for the first time in his life, he believes in a future. The plan is dangerous, deadly, impossible. They gather allies, rebel soldiers, hidden villagers, Fae defectors, and human fighters willing to die for freedom. Lysandra and Tao stand united at the front, sun and shadow intertwined. The uprising explodes through the Shadow Court. Magic ignites the sky. Rune blades clash with blazing spears. The Shadow King emerges, dripping with ancient power. He mocks Tao for bringing a sun-kissed pet into his halls. Tao steps forward, voice steady. "She is not my weakness. She is my equal." The final battle is fierce. The Shadow King attacks Tao viciously, runes exploding like storms. Lysandra counters with torrents of golden fire, her sun blessing awake in full power. The battlefield becomes a cosmic painting, darkness twisting with blinding radiance. When the king strikes at Tao, Lysandra intercepts the blow meant to kill him. Her light shatters the king's runes.
Tao uses his last reserve of magic to bind the tyrant in a seal powered by their combined forces, a seal of shadow and sunlight. The king falls, and with him, centuries of oppression crumble. In the aftermath, Tao removes the oppressive runes from his skin, shedding his curse. Lysandra heals the wounded. The hidden human villages emerge from the shadows at last. The Fae bow not to fear, but to hope. Tao approaches Lysandra, unsure if she will stay or return home. She smiles and says, "I was sent here to end a war, and we did, together." He lowers his forehead to hers, shadows curling tenderly around her waist. "Stay," he whispers, "not as a treaty, but as my choice." And so, the last sun-blessed princess and the Rune Lord, once believed to be a monster, became symbols of unity, light and shadow, hope and defiance, a love born from conflict, forged through truth, strengthened by sacrifice. Their story teaches us that sometimes the monsters we fear are the protectors we fail to understand, and sometimes the greatest light in the world comes from trusting the shadows.